Hi, this is Lucinda, and I'm here to talk about the Golden Hour Shawl. So one of the fun things you can do is do surface crochet. You could do it via embroidery, but I find it just as easy to be able to have fun making some little wavy lines and bringing interest and whimsical flair to this wrap. If you notice, all the stitches are going in this direction on this one, and then on this one I'm going to start up and I'll go in the opposite direction. So I have knit some bands with 6 rows each of the contrasting color. This is so that I can use some of the leftovers and enjoy doing a little bit of the surface crochet here. I'll show you a little bit how we do it. The yarn that we're going to be used needs to start from underneath. When I am here in the front, wherever I decide to start, I will poke the crochet in. Oops. Of course, you're doing this on video and it's always a little trickier. So here it is, and now I'm ready to get started. All we're going to be doing is deciding what distance we want to go. I can go a very far distance and have an elongated stitch, but in this case I prefer to go a little bit narrower and just have fun deciding where I want to go. So in this case I'm doing about 1 row or to 1.5 rows. I poke into the knitted fabric. If you see underneath, I'm going to wrap around so that I can pull that through. So if you see now, I have the 2 strands and I pull that through once again, and we now have our first stitch. Always the first stitch is going to be a bit loose, but we can open it up. I'll do this again so you can take a look. So we're going to do about 1 column of stitches. I'm going to come underneath, I'm going to wrap it around the crochet, and I'm going to pull it through. Now in this case I could go in one direct straight line, but I find with the whimsiness of this shawl it's a little bit better to go a little bit in a not so orderly fashion. So I'm just going to do a few stitches and let you watch me. Oops, I went into the wrap again. So here we go. So I pull the yarn through and through once again. I always like to pull it a little bit taut, but have a little bit of loose so that it's actually nice and not too tight. So here we go again. I'm going to go a little bit up and then I'm going to veer down. So we pull it through and we pull it through the stitch. So as you see, I'm starting to get some little chains. It's a little bit larger than it was here, but that's what is, you can play with the different crochet size and you can just make whatever stitches you want and make it whatever length you want. So we'll do one more here. And now I'll start going down a little bit. So you just turn the knitted fabric towards you a little bit so that then we get a little curve going. Oops. Sometimes it comes out, but that's okay. And we can always undo if we want to reposition it later. But now you see you have a really nice little chain. So once again, I'll just repeat the steps and then you can try it yourself. So I have a loop. I go into the knitted fabric. Underneath, I'm going to wrap it around the hook. And then I'm going to pull it through and pull it through our chain stitch. In this case, it kind of came undone because I split the fibers a little bit, but we can just do it again. It's a little bit harder to do it on video than it is to do it in real life. So here we go. We have it there. We'll do one more for good measure. So if you see really well here that we have a column of stitches and we're just going to go on the other side of that so we space them out. And then I wrap it and you pull it through. There you go. Happy knitting.